cool Spidey outfit. Thanks. Where'd you get it? I made it.
The Spider-Man that Jim Atchison created for this movie is very similar to the one he created in the first movie. At least it will seem that way to the audience.
This second costume, while it has details that are different, and the colors are slightly different, I mean, you need to be a real enthusiast to spot the differences. It's a great opportunity to have a go at something again. I mean, this costume was probably the most difficult thing I've ever... It should look very simple and slightly naive. Here we were trying to do something which was about really an acrobat who had this unbelievable kinetic, spiraling ability. So it had to be a very flexible thing. We went through a huge, long, circular trip in terms of developing the costume of Spider-Man. And over a 6-month period, we came back to believing that we had to sort of respect the icon. And in fact, the closer and more truthful we were to the image of Spidey, as long as it moved properly and it didn't wrinkle too much, and the stuntmen were able to do their somersaults, and the CGI people could recreate it, then that was the way to go. This time we're making 35 suits, and we've developed a new way of making them with a sublimation printing process, which isn't quite as good as the silkscreen process, but we save a bit of money and we save a lot of time. The first thing to do is always employ people that are cleverer than you. You're only as good as your own team. So I have a great assistant called Paul Spadone, who worked with me on the last film.
We've been working for the past 7 months, 8 months now, sort of revisiting Spider-Man's costume from the first film and updating it and enhancing it, and doing a lot of work with the color of the suit and the printing techniques. The pieces that you're seeing here, we have a whole rack of them, represent a lot of the trial and error of our development and research early on. Each one of these pieces is a silkscreen piece of the suit, and each section of the suit is hand silkscreened in New York by a team of artists there, and each area of the suit requires about 6 screens. A lot of what we did this time around was try and bring a greater depth to the color and a richness to the color, and I think that you'll see that the reds this time around have a real boldness, as well as the blues.
There's a spider that we redesigned, that Jim redesigned on the back, that now has a more elegant, flowing lines that work in more harmony with the back of Spider-Man. If we went with a wider format, he's even going to get smaller in frame. I mean, the way to photograph him now is like this. And there's going to be a lot of room on the sides of the frame, even for a medium close shot of him. Before, you could make his image much bigger. I mean, the problem is exacerbated if we went widescreen. Right. We're not decided on that. That's the potential problem. The next problem is the graphic difference that we're now talking about, making, in this case, I remember it blended in exactly. It was easier when a shot had to break it. You had to cut off the legs. Occasionally that happens. To accept. But in this case, because it makes such a dramatic statement against the wider webbing, it's going to be slightly more offensive to break the graphic a little bit, because we're saying it stands out, and then we're saying but we're cropping it. So that's the second
Do you want to
factor.
try something this size, that design?
Well, we're just bringing a smaller one now.
Let's just
We're getting a
reduce-
smaller one slightly
Well,
smaller.
we'll see. Let's see if 80 works.
Not bad.
75. You getting this, Grant?
Yes, I am.
Is this enough?
75 looks pretty
Not
But
cool.
it's the whole, zoom back each time and see what the whole.
Try 80. Not bad.
show me his
Sam,
face?
does that help your problem at all?
Show me his
Or
face
still
with
the
it.
same problem? That feels big enough
Well,
to me.
I don't mind it a little bit smaller than the 100%. I will say
That's
that.
80, that's not
That's
bad.
80.
This is the new Spider that we have on the front, which is a great new design. And on the back, both of them are in applied latex.
This is one of the first designs that came to us here at the end of the R&D period. And from Jim's design, we produced molds which allowed us to produce a variety of urethane spiders in varying thicknesses. The favorite thickness turns out to be this scale, which is also the same scale as the surrounding webbing. The benefit of this is now that the spider is more integrated into the costume. Instead of it being a flat printed logo on the back of the costume, it's now raised and it's going to tie in a little bit better to the surrounding web. One step we've gone even better beyond this is, and again, it only exists in a mold stage right now, was to have a custom metal mold made, and we've taken the spider emblem, but we've added the bevel surface all the way around the edge. So in cross section, instead of it just being a rectangular raised piece, it's now got a bevel. It basically matches the same bevel, the same angle that's on the spider web, so it's all very congruent now.
This is the web separate from the suit. And each piece of the suit comes to us, or like this, and then it is glued by hand onto the fabric, laid flat, after which it is all sewn up and put together as a complete suit.
The last time around, one of the big problems, challenges to figure out was what type of material to make this raised webbing out of. It had to stretch with the spandex, and yet it had to have enough structure that it looked like steely, hardened, tough material. So after some testings with urethanes and silicones and some other materials, we landed on foam latex, which had the right kind of properties to give Jim what he was looking for. This is shows you what the a basic piece of webbing looks like when it comes out of the mold. This is the Spider-Man 1 technology. The improvements we've made this time around are that we have, by using a backing on the mold with a special gasket material, excuse me, and this is a negative mold, we're able to produce pieces that have a lot of this flashing gone. For instance, this piece here, you can see has much less flashing on it, and that eliminates some of the trimming work.
We have made subtle changes in terms of the elasticity of the muscle suit and the movement of the false jaw inside the hood of the costume.
The improvements that we made, they're seemingly slight, but they're all more about performance, flexibility of the suit rather than the appearance. The biggest difference is that we've separated all of the muscles into separate units, as opposed to the muscle suit from the first movie, which had a lot of overlap of muscle material, which is just foam rubber, which bridged all of those muscle groups. Now, again, even though this is very flexible and supple, the improvement of doing it this way is that it allows more of this finely knitted material in between to give it more stretch. So conceivably, well, definitely, there's going to be more movement as the performer is inside the suit. It also allows the suit to fit down a little snugger down in between the valleys, and hopefully it will give you a little more definition to the musculature.
Over here we have the various incarnations of helmets. The idea was to come up, as far as the understructure of the helmet goes, we wanted to come up with a new way, a better way to lock the eye frames into the helmet, and we also wanted to add a little bit of flexibility to the jaw. So all of these were various types that were tried, prototypes put together. Jim chose a couple from that, and we moved forward off of his selection.
Underneath this, if it was not the reveal mask, would go the undershell mask. And the undershell mask goes on before the head gets pulled over to give a little structure and design to it. And changes, these were just made for a little more talking this time. There were some changes to the eyes and how the frames go in, convenience-wise and look-wise. The lenses, obviously they don't want to have the lenses on at all times. You want to make it quick and convenient to put the lenses in and out. So the lens is it's a casted urethane and a few little airbrushing things to it. And what it does is it'll go in to the suit, magnetically lock in. And obviously between that would be the fabric.
Another change that was made to the suit this time around was the webbing on the glove, especially on the palm, which was not there on the first Spider-Man. It's drawn in a lot of different ways in the comics. Sometimes it's just a series of straight lines running across the hand, other times it's more of a grid, but what we chose to go with is this pattern, which comes down here and follows sort of the general natural shape of the hand.
By the time we get the fabric in its printed form, to the time it's got all its bits inside and outside, it's 3 weeks. It's longer than that. It's 3 to 4 weeks, a suit.
There's an entire shop that sews the suits and glues all of the webbing down. There's another shop with its team of craftsmen fabricating the webs, painting the webs, fabricating the eye lenses, painting the eye lenses. And we also have another shop in New York who's done all the silkscreen printing. So it's a huge enterprise with a lot of people spending a lot of time and putting their talents towards it.
I think I deserve a little something for this.
Give you $50.
I could get more than that on eBay.
It's about finding the essence and supporting the characters. And you know, I've done a lot of what I'd call the look at me school of design, you know, where you're dressing people in big flashy outfits. This is one flashy outfit that somehow had to kind of work.
Looks uncomfortable.
It gets kind of itchy. It rides up in the crotch a little bit too.